going to the bottom of the 8th inning. And on the pitch, another freshman, this one from Wake Forest High School in North Carolina, Jimmy Lovelace.
Yeah, and you're seeing a lot of those freshman arms that Coach Guerra talked about in our interview earlier in the week, and he's high on them. He thinks he's got a lot of freshman arms that are going to be big-time contributors for them for not only this year, but in years to come. And again, this is the time when you're trying to figure out who your starting rotation is, who are your back-end bullpen guys, who are your long relief guys. And so these freshmen are all kind of vying for those roles and trying to show what they can do.
Mike Pichetti takes ball 1. Pichetti, the only man not to bat in that 7th inning. Georgia Tech scored 2 runs in that frame, but left the bases loaded. It's not quite the 21-run outburst we saw yesterday. But the Yellow Jackets, 7 runs, 9 hits. Saw the home run from Peyton Green. Tech as a team has 5 extra base hits. 3-1 here on Pichetti. And a rocket into left field will touch down. And Pichetti's got a leadoff single here in the bottom of the 8th. We were talking during the break, Kyle, about who might try and lock down this win for Georgia Tech in the 9th. Now that question sure would be a lot less important if Georgia Tech puts up a big crooked number here in the home half.
Yeah, and I think with how Cam Jones finished that last inning, you're pretty comfortable with him going back out and being fine. Right now, if you're Georgia Tech, you're just trying to add a few runs, trying to add some insurance. You see Brochus squaring around there. You know, you're not playing for a massive inning. That'd be great. But, you know, if you can add a few more across with Cam Jones coming back out, I mean, you feel pretty secure in what you can do.
Lovelace, first team All-State back in high school. Takes a called strike. Parker gets a called strike on Parker Brochus. And that wind has been gusting all day. It's up to 20-mile-an-hour gusts here in Atlanta. And Brochus tries to get the barrel into the ball and flicks it foul.
Yeah, he tried to go back-to-back curveballs there, and good job by Brochus to stay back and fight it off and made the adjustment on it. Right, that's what you're looking for if you're a pitching coach. You're watching a hitter. Is he making an adjustment timing-wise, plane-wise? If he does, you got to go somewhere else. Now he's thrown 3 straight. Generally, if you see a hitter kind of make the adjustment after 2, you want to maybe go somewhere else. And now 3 in a row. You know, he throws one again and leaves it hanging. It could go pretty far. Goes with the changeup there. So now you've thrown him 4 straight off speed. You know, elevated fastball would probably be a good idea here. You've shown him a changeup down. The breaking ball starts up, so you could get a chase at a fastball top of the zone.
The 1-2 driven deep left field, but foul. Is that what you're talking about there, Kyle?
Exactly. I mean, now it's 5 straight off speed in a row. So, you know, he's got the timing of it. He's seen a lot of them. I mean, that's the whole game is once a hitter's seen the same pitch and at bat 2 or 3 times, it's just not going to have the same effect in fooling him as it did earlier in the at-bat. Probably want to go fastball up here. Try to get a chase.
Instead, it's a hanging pitch up in the zone that Brochus squares up, but drives out to center field, and Cameron Pittman's there to make the play.
Yeah, went with the breaking ball again, which, you know, it ended up working out. Brochus put a good swing on it, just hit it right to center field. And, you know, if that ball's hitting the gap, it's probably getting down for extra bases. But made a solid pitch, strike. Got away with it, but Georgia Tech still has life here in the bottom of the 8th.
Drew Burris takes ball 1. With the 6, 7, and 8 spots due up for Radford in the top of the 9th.
And it seems like Lovelace has a little bit more feel for the breaking ball to throw as a strike, so that could obviously play into the pitch calling.
And Drew Burris reaches up and gets one up in the zone, driving back Pittman, who turns his back. It's off the wall, and Drew Burris has a double. Boy, that missed being a home run by less than 3 feet.
Yeah, and that was at the top of the zone. The great swing by Drew Burris. I mean, levels out his swing, doesn't get too underneath it. I mean, this was a ball up. I mean, this was way up out of the zone, and he still was able to get the barrel to it. And like you said, Wiley, I mean, with the wind blowing the way it is, probably saved Radford a home run there. Just blew it down enough to get it off the top of the wall. And with it being close out there, it looked like Pittman may have a shot at making a play. It was good base running by Bichetti to not get too far out. And it was hit so hard, I mean, it would have been tough to score from first on a ball like that. But now if you're Radford, I mean, you got to nail down these next 2 outs. You're looking really for a strikeout against Ellis. You may even walk him to set up a forced play at every out or every base.
I got to think the book would say you should do that, especially considering Ellis is a lefty.
Yes,
right?
I mean, all indications point to you're going to either one of two things. You're either going to intentionally walk him, or you're just going to throw him a bunch of slot curveballs and changeups, you know, trying to get him to chase, but you're not going to give him anything to hit. You're hoping that he might chase and kind of get himself out, but you know, this is a guy you probably don't want to face with runners on second and third, no outs, because he can elevate it deep to the outfield if you make a mistake. He's an advanced hitter. He's been around a long time. You know, he knows what his job is in the plate.
There's a first pitch fastball down and into a lefty. That's pretty fearless.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they're going to go right at him, and you know, we'll see how it works.
Check swing. He went 0-2. Fastball, then curveball, and look, I mean, this is a growth opportunity here for Jimmy Lovelace. I mean, you know, Radford, I don't think they're expecting an at-large bid, so their conference play is going to be important. And the 0-2 is popped up. Shallow center, long run for the infielders, and there's a collision, and the catch is made. And the runners stand pat. I think Mike Bichetti was anticipating that ball being caught, or rather not being caught.
Yeah, see, that's a mistake by Bichetti, because in a normal scenario with infielders playing at normal depth, they're going to be under this and camped. You're not tagging up. But in an infield in situation, they're catching that on the run with their back turned. It's going to take them 2 or 3 steps to get settled. You're going to coast into home plate if you tag up. So that, you know, it's one of those kind of more advanced base running errors. You have to know the situation where the infielders are playing. On a ball like that, you're tagging up unless they're just camped, right? As soon as you see them start to camp, you're getting off the base in case they drop it. But that ball off the bat, I mean, you knew it was going to be a tough play for the infield having to run so far. If he's just stayed at the base tagging up, he just skates into home plate.
I think that's the conversation we just saw James Ramsey having with Mike Bichetti. But to your point, that's, you know, there's baseball 101, and then that's kind of a college level course, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to know in that situation, even if the infielder makes the play, he's going to be, like I said, he's going to catch it on the run with his back turned, and he's going to take 2 or 3 steps to get settled. And even then, he's going to be throwing it off his back foot probably. He's not going to get much on the throw. I mean, he might have even scored without a throw. I mean, that's how hard of a play that would have been for Radford. So a little bit of a break there for Radford, just not having another run score that should have.
Can we talk about Jimmy Lovelace, the way he went after Matt Ellis there too, huh? I mean, well, we didn't expect that.
Part of you thinks maybe they're playing, you know, 4D chess, you know, Radford's pitching coach, because everyone in the game would assume you're either going to walk him or you're going to pitch around him and not give him anything to hit. And then first pitch is a fastball down and in, which is generally a left-handed hitter's power spot. But yeah, they went right at him and it paid off. They got an infield, you know, really a shallow infield fly, but that was made more difficult because the infield was playing in. Again, Bichetti should have scored on that, but you know, it was a break for Radford because he was, you know, I think he was anticipating that ball falling and he was off the base. But again, I mean, he could have easily scored even if they made that play. Caught it, and they did catch it. But you know, if if he's tagging up there, they ran into each other. I mean, he walks into home plate.
So bases loaded here for Cam Jones, currently the pitcher for Georgia Tech. But again, Radford, you're not expecting an at-large bid to come from the Big South Conference as Jones fouls this off. Therefore, these non-conference games really more of an opportunity to learn more about your team. The conference is going to determine what happens to you in postseason.
Like even more importantly for a lot of the mid-major conferences is you got to know who your guys are going in. I mean, every school is doing that, but in the ACC, you're going to get a lot of at-large bids. In the SEC, you're going to get a lot of at-large bids. Across the Power 5, that's generally the case. In the mid-major conferences, most of the time, I mean, you got to win your conference.
Jones drills one right center. Pittman gliding over. He makes the catch. And Kyle, Jimmy Lovelace might be one of those guys for Radford.
Yep.
Strands the bases loaded and keeps the Highlanders within striking distance going to the 9th. Looking to nail down a series win here over Radford, 21-8. They beat the Highlanders yesterday. They've led since the first inning this afternoon, but the Highlanders are within striking distance here and going to try and stage a 9th inning rally. It's that type of weather. We got to have blankets out. Georgia Tech blankets.
Yeah, and you know what? In the last few innings, I mean, Radford's offense has shown some life. So, they've scored in 2 straight innings, 1 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th. So they've started to put it back together. But, they're going to have to score 4 here to kind of take us into extra innings. And that starts with the leadoff hitter. I mean, this is the type of situation where you're not necessarily taking a strike, but